critiquing at this point in time. Because you are all so knowledgeable, I need help in critiquing and presentation and...
Not on tape, though.
Not on tape. Oh, yeah, just blur it out. Barb, that's wrong. So, okay, technically, let me get my... Please tell me I have it. And I don't. That's okay. We will do without it. Okay. Technically, the name of my class for tonight is going to be, Where Did They Come Up With That Disease? Only because of the fact is that we have an issue going on in our society that every month, every 2 months, we are getting news reports of some new disease, some very long name, or it could be a cute little short name from Asia or Egypt or Timbuktu, that they have just discovered some new illness. And it's a rare case, but as we go along, it becomes more prevalent that we have a special test for you, and as these people pay for these special tests, we find out that they have this rare disease, and pretty soon, within a couple of years, it's no longer a rare disease, but an actual common thing that we all have. But never fear, they do have a cure or a remedy for this disease.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so, and I have a cute little thing that I want to start off, because all lecturers start off with a joke, and I don't do jokes because I can't keep
Well,
jokes.
there was this traveling salesman.
There's a guy with Alzheimer's.
See, I love it. Everybody has jokes, so go ahead. You know, Joe, do you have a joke for us? You know, so, but someone gave me this to me and said to me that Mobeetie, Texas, and I apologize, Texas, if I got it wrong. It's a Panhandle mother city. The man was, not back in 1874, and I'm paraphrasing, please forgive me, but back in 1874, they wanted to call this town Mobeetie because of the fact that it meant sweet water in Indian. And so they did all the paperwork, and come to find out, they said, no, there is already a Mobeetie, Texas, so you have to come up with another name. And this man came along, and he said, golly gee. So he went to the local Indian tribe and said, we want to honor your tribe here. What is another word for Sweetwater or Mobeetie, that we could use for this town that we want to, incorporate? And he said, I'm sorry, it wasn't. Okay, anyways, so Sweetwater. Okay, I already see I screwed it up.
They had another Sweetwater.
So they had another, so the Indians said, we can call it Mobeetie. Mobeetie is the Indian word for Sweetwater, okay? Fine, everybody for years and years and years and years, okay. So, come to find out that the word, actually Mobeetie, is Comanche, and it doesn't mean Sweetwater, but it actually means buffalo dung. So,
They never had.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is, poor old Mobeetie, is not really another word for Sweetwater. It's actually buffalo dung. And the moral of the story is, always know what you're talking about. Find out what the word means. Go and find it. And even in the biblical sense, they always have you want to find witnesses to a certain fact. Okay? That's what's so important about double witnessing. Okay? So in this little story of Mobeetie, it doesn't mean Sweetwater. Somebody should have done their homework instead of listening to this Indian guy, this Comanche, who made a big joke out of this, and ha ha ha, okay? So this is what we're up to when we are talking about what's the name of this illness, what does it mean? When I was raising my children, we had to learn Greek and Latin every day after lunch, and it was the best class we ever had because we were so excited to learn different language, okay? And Greek and Latin is our formal root words of all of our languages. And so we have learned a lot of different words that once we learn the root words, we can put words together and it makes sense, like telephone. Those are two words. When you look at the Greek words, what does it mean?
Distant voice or something?
Distance hearing, okay? Same thing with television, okay? Tele is one word, vision's another. So, same thing with Mobeetie. It doesn't mean Sweetwater, it means buffalo dung. Ha ha on them for not doing their homework, not doing their research.
Where do you live? Oh, buffalo dung.
That's right, exactly. They don't have to say the Comanche word anymore. So when we have our doctors come along and say, I have a new test for you to study up and see if you've got this great big ABC alphabet long word, you have to say to yourself, A, the poor doctor doesn't know what he's talking about and he's delusional, Or B, he's drunk and has, the loose lips and stuff and tongue. Or he's trying to scam you. There's 3 options there. And what you need to do is say, thank you very much, let me write that word down. And because we have the access to the internet, to YouTube, to Google, to Bing, and everything else that's in the computer world now, we don't have to be scholars. What we have to be is an intelligent person to get on the internet and say, who knows what this means? What is this? And do your own homework. Wherever I go, whoever I teach, even my clients, I say to my clients, do not trust me. I need you to get out there and believe in yourself that what I'm saying could be true, but you do the homework and you follow through yourself. That's why I will never write down like a doctor and say, you must take this and do this. I will say, these are my suggestions to you according to what I've done on myself or on my family. Now you need to make the decision. I'm never going to press a client to say, you must take this or else you're going to die. That's what doctors do. I will never say that, because guess what? Even if you take vitamin C or Astragalus or vitamin P, you are going to die. Right, Joe? We are eventually going to die. It doesn't matter what we take. When it's our numbers up, we're going to die. So I am not going to be like a doctor and say, you must do this. That's not going to happen. Not from this girl. Okay?
I always wondered about that in Scripture. It says it's appointed unto all men once to die, but it doesn't say anything about women, so I figured they live forever.
We live forever. We are so,
we come back and watch anyway.
That's right, yeah. So, yes, there you go. So the concept is, you're correct. Yeah, you men are all going to die, but, yay for us women. We're living forever, yeah. So one example that I actually have 2 examples here tonight to talk about, but I'm sure that every one of us here could come along with a disease or 2 that we have known in the past 5 years that the doctor has said your aunt has, your sister has, your mother has, or whatever. Whether it's restless leg syndrome, which was a few years ago, or remember about 6-7 years ago we had that shoulder blade story? I don't know if anybody up here would have known about that.
Nope, I didn't hear it.
Rotator cuff
Oh.
thing, that's right. That was a big one way back when as well.
Nobody had it 100 years ago, but we all got it now.
That's right, that's right. And that's the other concept, is where did all these diseases come from? And they come from the pharmaceutical people, because they have to come along and say, we have beat this aspirin story to death. We are now selling more aspirins than anything else other than Coumadin. They have just done aspirin for everything. Aspirin for everything. You want to get pregnant, take an aspirin. You want to not get pregnant, take an aspirin. You have a hangnail, take an aspirin. You have a wart, take an aspirin. Yeah, if you have a wart, take a hangnail. If you have a wart, take an aspirin. An aspirin a day. If you've got tooth problems, stick an aspirin in there. They have done the aspirin thing to death. So that nowadays, everybody's selling aspirin. I mean, even the gas station is selling aspirin. Isn't that amazing? When you go into a gas station, fill up, you can buy aspirin. You too could do that. Scary. Scary. So when we stop and think about that, yes, you can overdose on aspirin. It's very scary to think about. Yes, you can really get sick on aspirin. So, but the 2 latest things that have come along, other than the restless syndrome and the rotator cuff story, are going to be this ADD and ADHD. I love it. I think it's the best scam in the whole wide world. And I actually have something, it's called disease mongering. Inventing disease for profit is the single most effective way to sell drugs. Now remember the aspirin. How else can we produce and sell aspirin? There's just about, even babies are now allowed to take baby Tylenol. Okay, so they're selling it to everybody. Okay, so we have to come up with new diseases and new drugs to be able to make more money. I will always say this, follow the money trail. Whether it's the doctor trying to sell you a test that you need to take, or a pharmaceutical guy saying, this is a good thing to take, you don't need to go see your doctor. Okay? So over-the-counter drugs is what they call them. Now, this is wonderful because this has actually been published, and it's not coming, it came off of my computer, but it's somebody else that sends me things like this, because this darling man has basically decided that he's going to be the computer guru for me. He reads all these things and then he sends them my way, and I tell him yay or nay. Like this one, I said, please mail this to me